Week 19, Devil's Advocate, here we go. Welcome to the realm of Millenia. Be ye man, woman, child, a spirit creature, or maybe even just a Mahan. Be ye a native, a migrator, or maybe even just an invader into the realm. Welcome, for I am your host, the Millennium Mailman, here today as we go about this Millennium Mailman Monday, because I'll always be world building for you long after you've already begun to acclimate and begin. So go ahead, sit back and relax and enjoy this mild-mannered walking talking Monday today. All right, so the hot take of the week is really about how chivalry, this is the chivalry conversation people are talking about on the TikToks and the YouTubes and the whatever social medias, and I've even seen some interviews and news channels talking about it. How is chivalry dead? No, absolutely not. I most certainly do not believe that chivalry is dead or dying. I don't believe that at all. But there is something to be said about how acts of heroism and selflessness is probably beginning to die out by a large margin and degree, right? Because despite us being in a great age of digital marketing, no one is branding acts of heroism in a positive light right now. So fewer and fewer people, let alone the growing generation of young men, boys to men, or just flat out men, very, very few are high IQ and big brained enough to process all the benefits to being heroic and selfless in their actions and their courtings of one another and how they treat other people. Very few and fewer and fewer and far more between. And I'd probably say that was the biggest downfall of the dating scene. That happened when I don't want to really put a time stamp to it, but for lack of a better time, probably a few years into the 2000s, when feminism was starting to make it into the elementary and middle schools. I'd say around then is probably where I'd say a majority of the heroisms in the youth especially probably started to simmer out. Where, because it was marketed so bad. This is the day and age of the best technology level in the digital realm. Everyone's got the phone and everything, but no one's marketing heroism like they used to at all. So, outside of studio pictures like DC and Marvel, who have quite literally superheroes, no one's marketing them at being heroic as good. Because even people are putting out movies where we're empathizing with villains, dude. We're putting out movies where even the greatest of heroes have their downtimes and pitfalls. It's like, no one's marketing being a hero as, oh yeah, I want to be that. It would be worth everything of my life. I die to be that guy. No one's marketing it that well no more. Everyone used to be able to confidently say, I want to be Superman. I want to put myself in front of a bullet to save another guy. Hopefully live, but probably not. No one's marketing acts of heroism like they used to. So fewer and fewer people are like, yeah, I'll go through it. I want to be that guy. I want to be the motivation for another person to be that guy as well. In a digital age like this, no one's doing that. We're getting versions of Superman who are getting cans thrown at their head and he's flinching at it. That's the kind of marketing we're getting for heroes, let alone the world's #1 name hero, Superman. Heroes are not at all being branded like they used to. Okay? So that is the real reason this question of is chivalry dead coming about. I know a lot of the younger generation doesn't even really know exactly what chivalry is. They might have a general brief idea of what it is, but they don't even know what it is. Yet they're just repeating the talking points of the older generation who are actually concerned for the chivalry and the lack thereof they think there is in the general public nowadays. So, yeah, it's a pretty big thing. Everyone's talking about chivalry, but because everyone can consider chivalry as a loose synonym, they're getting trapped in this conversation that goes nowhere because it's not the actual words or things we should be talking about. Chivalry isn't the thing you are probably really looking for to have this conversation about. It's heroism. Acts of heroism is very much dying out and dying fast, not chivalry. And I took from the point of, for the Wednesday video, I mainly talk from the point of how, what exactly is chivalry? The difference between chivalry and bravery, and then bravery from heroism, right? But, I mean, all that's mostly just to say is that chivalry is one thing, heroism is the act of going out and really putting everything on the line for the betterment of everything. But bravery is just being present. You can be brave just by being present. Heroism is actually standing up and having a cost. Bravery is a potential to cost something. It might cost you. Heroism is, this is certainly costing you. There's potential for reward when it's heroism. There's potential for reward, but it's not guaranteed. It's definitely going to cost you something, though. Bravery, there is a potential for cost, and the rewards are already known. Heroism, the rewards are unknown, and the cost is there. Chivalry, that everyone's talking about and thinks is the real point of... Did I walk through a spider web? Nah. Chivalry isn't really about the cost to benefit. Chivalry is more so a display of abundance. You're taking a little bit of time out of your day. It really doesn't mean anything to you, but here's a little extra on the side. It's like chivalry is more so, especially from its history, an act of nobility. In an economy like this, oh golly, you think there's nobility? Unless you're dating a, what's the word? A hedge fund trust baby, half, who's mostly nepotism for everything he's got. There's no nobility in this. If you coming out the gutter, if you lived a gutter life like in the Bronx or something, you ain't talking nobility now. If you're talking to a fellow hood dude, if you're talking to someone in school just like you, it's not no flippability. It's not nobility. And thus, it's not chivalry. Chivalry is not about the equality at all. Chivalry is and can only really come from those who are quite literally superior to you. So, in the dating scene, we're talking about trying to find an equally yoked partner, someone who cares and is compassionate. When you mention chivalry, you're quite truly asking for a superior, and you don't even know it. I want a partner who's going to be my hero. I want someone who's going to do this and do that for me no matter the cost. That is heroism, not chivalry. Heroism is dying, especially in modern dating, because you don't even know the words you want. You're trying to lighten it up and soften it, when really, for people who know the history and know what these words mean and how to connect them, chivalry sounds like a softer word, but if you actually look at it, it's so much worse. Especially for a feminist or an equalist to be saying something like that, right? If you're trying to get a more liberal person who's like, yeah, I want my wife to do this, or even if you want a traditional or conservative person, right? If you want someone who's taking a side, who's conservative, like, yeah, I want to do everything for my wife and keep her home and be able to be that, or I want to be able to be in a decent partnership with my wife, with my partner, right? When you say you want that, but you mention chivalry, which is quite, again, literally an act of nobility and very much superior, being generous, that is, you are two-timing, two-faced, and saying that, yeah, I want to be equal in power, but I want it to be from you giving up all your power to me. That sounds pretty crazy. That's not a good branding. That's not something you want to market to someone you want something from, really. The marketing is terrible. Right? What you really want is heroism. You want someone who takes pride in establishing a certain quality of life for you. Anyone who doesn't understand that needs to go back to the drawing board and seek someone different. You want a heroic partner. You want a relationship with a heroic, generous individual. Generous, heroic, compassionate person. Yes, that's all heroism. Plenty of people know and recognize they can't be Superman, but they can try to be. They can be like a Captain America. I can't fly, but I promise you I can get a team together and solve the thing. All right? Heroism. I ain't no Superman, but I'm kind of rich like Iron Man, and I can make something shake. I'm rich like Batman, you know? I'm a pretty bad dude, but I'll make it happen for you, I swear. Right? I don't kill nobody, but I will hurt someone for you, please, I promise. It's heroism, I swear. Right? Heroism is not branded like it used to be. And that's why people are questioning chivalry on whether chivalry is dying or not. It's a devil's advocate twist on words that people aren't finding to be all that important when it really is, because words are always important. The words you choose to use are always important, right? Because the words have meaning. That's why it's important. But people don't really understand or recognize that. So that's why we're going in circles that go nowhere, because people are mentioning chivalry when they should be talking and bringing up heroism. But hey, that's truly just me. I could be very wrong. But hey, that's just me, your Millennium Mailman. Go ahead, like, comment, share for more exposure. Subscribe if you feel like, dislike the video if you don't. And hey, remember, I will be posting every single day, faster than the gears can turn that way. So go ahead, have a good one. Peace. Oh, man.